Hello friends, thanks for tuning into this week's tech tip. It's 2022, so Happy New Year. I thought it would make a lot of sense to talk about 3 things that you might consider doing to start the year off right that's kind of related to technology. The first is updating your LinkedIn profile. The second is checking your recurring credit card charges to make sure that those all still make sense. And the third that I have to look at my notes is consider updating your passwords and make sure 2-factor authentication is turned on for banking, Facebook, anything important. So let's get right into it. The first item is updating your LinkedIn profile. I'll include a link in the description below of this video about updating why having a good profile is important, and that's one of the ones I did last year. I'll tell you, something might have changed. You might have changed jobs. You might have unfortunately lost a pet. There's a whole bunch of things that could have changed in your life, and it's time to update your profile. For me, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, one of my new passions is the love of hunting and collecting bourbon. It's something I do socially with a bunch of friends, including my family, not drinking too much, but enjoying a good drink here and there. And so I need to add that to my professional headline on my LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to do that today. Sorry to break into the video, but I almost forgot. A good friend of mine, Jeff Potts, who I do a lot of business with, just dropped off one of my favorite bottles of bourbon. It's an Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, and this bottle is incredibly hard, if not impossible, to find at your local liquor store. My brother, Mike Terry, went a long way to get me a bottle of this for my birthday last year, and Jeff just dropped off another bottle, so I am good to go for a minute with Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. Guys, thanks so much. The next thing to think about is your credit card statements. So if you don't look, I'm the worst at this. I actually have to remind myself, and the turn of the year is usually when I do this. I need to look at my recurring credit card things because there are things I'll sign up for and then forget, and it's $4 a month, $7 a month, $12 a month, whatever it is, and a couple of those can add up really quickly. There was one on there, for example, I had upgraded our paid Spotify account for Trista and I to a family plan, but it turns out, so I think the paid account's like $9 or $11 for the paid Spotify account, and then the family plan was like $17 a month, so it's like $6 more a month. But the way Trista uses our Spotify account is through Alexa in the speakers in our house, so she doesn't really use her own account, and kind of forgot that I'd even set that up for her. So I deleted that. I dropped it back down to the single plan because that's really how we're using it anyway. So there's, $70. That's a couple of nice meals that I've saved that I took off of my credit card stuff. And there's 3 or 4 others that I found, small ones that just didn't make sense anymore. So I cleaned those up. So definitely take a look and see if there's anything you can find to weed out that you don't really need to be paying for. And the final thing is your passwords. I'm not going to beat a dead horse on this. If you don't have a password manager like Roboform, LastPass, there's a bunch of them out there, but something to manage your passwords, oh my gosh, you're missing an opportunity to make your life so much better and secure. It's not just an IT guy telling you that it's an important thing. I'm telling you, it's so much easier. For my clients, I log into literally 100 websites a week. No, not even exaggerating, like 100 different websites in a given week. Whether it's Social Pilot or Hootsuite or the WordPress backend for their website or just a bunch of different things. MailChimp, I mean on and on and on. Bitly, on and on and on of sites that I have to log into. And you want to have a different password for every site for security. And you also want to make sure you've got 2-factor authentication turned on for any important account. Don't be lazy with this. If you don't have 2-factor turned on for Facebook, for all your banking accounts, if you're using QuickBooks or Mint or any of that kind of stuff related to financial, you need to have 2-factor authentication turned on. And I know it can be a pain in the butt, but it's also going to save you if you get your identity stolen. That stuff's happening all the time. I keep hearing stories about people's Facebook getting hacked and a bunch of emails going out to all their friends and family, or their MailChimp, whatever account's getting hacked. And all kinds of bad things happen. So you could just stop that from happening in the first place with turning on 2-factor authentication. If you don't know what that is, it's the simple thing where you turn it on an account and it will text you a code to your cell phone when you're trying to log in and you have to type in the code. I know it's a little bit of extra time, but if you're using a password manager to log into the site in the first place, it's no more than what you were used to doing when you were typing in your password anyway, and you're way more secure. So I hope those 3 tips were helpful. Update your LinkedIn profile. If you haven't done it in more than 6 months or a year, do that this week. Make sure you look at your credit card recurring charges and see if there's anything you can weed out. And finally, make sure you have a grasp of your passwords and that you're secure with 2-factor authentication. That'll be a great way for you to start the year off right in 2022. Thanks again. If you enjoyed the video, please share this with your friends. Consider liking and subscribing on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.